olives and shadows and sunlit pinks and golds. Sometimes, as she grew bolder, she would lean against his shoulder. He was very still while she read to him, and always grateful. What worlds they would explore together, strange worlds to Ariete. She learned a lot, and some of the things she learned were hard to accept. She was made to realise once and for all that this earth on which they lived, turning about in space, did not revolve, as she had believed, for the sake of little people, nor for big people either, she reminded the boy when she saw his secret smile. In the cool of the evening, Pod would come for her, a rather weary Pod, dishevelled and dusty, to take her back for tea, and at home there would be an excited homily and fresh delights to discover. Shut your eyes, homily would cry, now open them, and Ariete, in a dream of joy, would see her home transformed. All kinds of surprises there were. Even one day, lace curtains at the grating, looped up with pink string. Their only sadness was that there was no one there to see, no visitors, no casual droppers in, no admiring cries and envious glances. What would Homily have not given for an over, mantle, or a harpsichord? Even a rain barrel would have been better than no one at all. You write to your Uncle Henry, Homily suggested, and tell him. A nice long letter, mind, and don't leave anything out. Ariete began the letter on the back of one of the discarded pieces of blotting paper, but it became, as she wrote it, just a dull list, far too long, like a sale catalogue or the inventory of a house to let. She would have to keep jumping up to count spoons or to look up words in the dictionary, and after a while she laid it aside. There was so much else to do, so many new books to read, and so much now that she could talk off with the boy. He's been ill, she told her mother and father. He's been here for the quiet and the country air, but soon he'll go back to India. Did you know, she asked the amazed Homily, that the Arctic night lasts 6 months, and that the distance between the two poles is less than that between the two extremities of a diameter drawn through the equator? Yes, they were happy days, and all would have been well, as Pod said afterwards, if they had stuck to borrowing from the doll's house. No one in the human household seemed to remember it was there, and consequently nothing was missed. The drawing room, however, could not help but be a temptation. It was so seldom used nowadays. There were so many knick-knack tables which had been out of Pod's reach, and the boy, of course, could turn the key in the glass doors of the cabinet. The silver violin, he brought them first, and then the silver harp. It stood no higher than Pod's shoulder, and Pod restrung it with horsehair from the sofa in the morning room. A musical conversation. That's what we could have, cried the exulting Homily, as Ariete struck a tiny, tuneless note on a horsehair string. If only, she went on fervently, clasping her hands, your father would start on the drawing room. She curled her hair nearly every evening nowadays, story altogether. Standing there on that fateful day in the spring sunshine, feather duster in hand, her little black eyes had become slits of anger and cunning. She felt tricked. It was, she calculated, as though someone, suspecting her dishonesty, were trying to catch her out. But who could it be? Crampfurl, that boy, the man who came to wind the clocks. These things had disappeared gradually, one by one. It was someone, of that she felt sure, who knew the house, and someone who wished her ill. Could it, she wondered suddenly, be the mistress herself? The old girl had been out of bed lately and walking about her room. Might she not have come downstairs in the night, poking about with her stick, snooping and spying? Mrs. Driver remembered suddenly the empty Madeira bottle and the 2 glasses which so often were left on the kitchen table. Ah, thought Mrs. Driver, was not this just the sort of thing she might do? The sort of thing she would cackle over, back upstairs, again among her pillows, watching and waiting for Mrs. Driver to report the loss. Everything all right downstairs, Driver? That's what she'd always say, and she would look at Mrs. Driver sideways out of those mocking old eyes of hers. I wouldn't put it past her, Mrs. Driver exclaimed aloud, gripping her feather duster as though it were a club. And a nice, merry Andrew she'd look if I caught her at it, creeping about the downstairs rooms in the middle of the night. All right, my lady, muttered Mrs. Driver grimly. Pry and potter all you want. 2 can play at that game. Chapter 17. Mrs. Driver was short with Crampfurl that evening. She would not sit down and drink with him as usual, but stumped about the kitchen, looking at him sideways, every now and again out of the corners of her eyes. He looked uneasy, as indeed he was. There was a kind of menace in her silence, a hidden something which no one could ignore. Even Aunt Sophie had felt it when Mrs. Driver seemed a sigh in the darkness, an echo of movement, and it seemed to Mrs. Driver, standing there on the cold stone flags of the scullery, that this sound, that was barely a sound, could only mean one thing: the soft swing to of the green baize door, that door which led out of the kitchen into the main hall beyond. Hurriedly, Mrs. Driver felt her way into the kitchen and fumbled for matches along the ledge above the stove. She knocked off a pepper pot and a paper bag of cloves, and glancing quickly downwards, saw a filament of light. She saw it in the second before she struck a match. A glowworm thread, it looked like, on the floor beside her feet. It ran in an oblong shape, outlining a rough square. Mrs. Driver gasped and lit the gas, and the room leapt up around her. She glanced quickly at the baize door. There seemed to her startled eye a quiver of movement in it, as though it had just swung to. She ran to it and pushed it open, but the passage beyond was still and dark. No flicker of shadow nor sound of distant footfall. She let the door fall to again and watched it as it swung back, slowly, regretfully, held by its heavy spring. Yes, that was the sound she had heard from the scullery, that sighing whisper, like an indrawn breath. Cautiously, clutching back her skirts, Mrs. Driver moved towards the stove. An object lay there, something pinkish, on the floor beside the jutting board. Ah, she realised, that board, that was where the light had come from. Mrs. Driver hesitated and glanced about the kitchen. Everything else looked normal, and just as she had left it. The plates on the dresser, the saucepans on the wall, and the row of tea towels hanging symmetrically on their string above the stove. The pinkish object she saw now was a heart-shaped kajou box, one that she knew well from the glass-tin tray table beside the fireplace in the drawing room. She picked it up. It was enamel and gold, and set with tiny brilliants. "Well, she began, and stooping swiftly with a sudden angry movement, she wrenched back the piece of floor. And then she shrieked, loud and long. She saw movement, a running, a scrambling, a fluttering. She heard a squeaking, a jabbering, and a gasping. Little people, they looked like, with hands and feet, and mouths opening. That's what they looked like. But they couldn't be that, of course. Running here, there, and everywhere. Oh, 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 she shrieked, and felt behind her for a chair. She clambered onto it, and it wobbled beneath her, and she climbed, still shrieking, from the chair to the table. And there she stood, marooned, crying and gasping and calling out for help, until, after hours it seemed, there was a rattling at the scullery door. Crampfurl it was, roused at last by the light and the noise. "What is it?" he called. "Let me in." But Mrs. Driver would not leave the table. A nest, she shouted, alive and squeaking. Crampfurl threw his weight against the door and burst open the lock. He staggered, slightly dazed, into the kitchen, his corduroy trousers pulled on over his nightshirt. "Where?" he cried, his eyes wide beneath his tousled hair. "What sort of a nest?" Mrs. Driver, sobbing still with fright, pointed at the floor. Crampfurl walked over in his slow, deliberate way and stared down. He saw a hole in the floor, lined and cluttered with small objects. Children's toys, they looked like, bits of rubbish, that was all. "It's nothing," he said after a Mrs. Driver. Little people, like with hands or mice dressed up. Crampfurl stared into the hole. Mice dressed up, he repeated uncertainly. Hundreds of them, went on Mrs. Driver, running and squeaking. I saw them, I tell you. Well, there ain't nothing there now, said Crampfurl, and he gave a final stir round with his boot. Then they've run away, she cried, onto the floor, up inside the walls. The place is alive with them. Well, said Crampfurl, stolidly, maybe, but if you ask me, I think it's that boy, where he hides things. His eye brightened and he went down on one knee. Where he's got the ferret, I shouldn't wonder. Listen, cried Mrs. Driver, and there was a despairing note in her voice. You've got to listen. This wasn't no boy, and it wasn't no ferret. She reached for the back of the chair and lowered herself clumsily onto the floor. She came beside him to the edge of the hole. They had hands and faces, I tell you. Look, she said, pointing. See that? It's a bed, and now I come to think of it, one of them was in it. Now you come to think of it, said Crampfurl. Yes, went on Mrs. Driver firmly, and there's something else I come to think of. Remember that girl, Rosa Big Hatchet? The one that was simple. Well, simple or not, she saw one on the drawing-room mantelpiece with a beard. One what? Asked Crampfurl. Mrs. Driver glared at him. What I've been telling you about. One of these. Mice dressed up, said Crampfurl. Not mice, Mrs. Driver almost shouted. Mice don't have beards. But you said, began Crampfurl. Yes, I know I said it. Not that these had beards, but what would you call them? What could they be but mice? Not so loud, whispered Crampfurl. You'll wake the house up. They can't hear, said Mrs. Driver. Not through the base door. She went to the stove and picked up the fire tongs. And what if they do? We ain't done nothing. Move over, she went on, and let me get at the hole. One by one, Mrs. Driver picked things out. With many shocked gasps, cries of amazement, and did you evers? She made 2 piles on the floor, one of valuables and one of what she called rubbish. Curious objects dangled from the tongs. Would you believe it? Her best lace handkerchiefs. Look, here's another, and my big mattress needle. I knew I had one. My silver thimble, if you please, and one of hers. And look, oh my, the wools, the cottons. No wonder you can never find a reel of white cotton if you want one. Potatoes, nuts. Look at this, a pot of caviar. Caviar. No, it's too much. It really is. Dolls' chairs, tables, and look at this blotting paper. So that's where it goes. Oh my goodness gracious, she cried suddenly, her eyes staring. What's this? Mrs. Driver laid down the tongs and leaned over the hole, tentatively and fearfully, as though afraid of being stung. It's a watch, an emerald watch, her watch, and she's never missed it. Her voice rose, and it's going. Look, you can see by the kitchen clock, 12:25. Mrs. Driver sat down suddenly on a hard chair. Her eyes were staring, and her face looked white and flabby, as though